Hey there, hey there. Welcome to the Midday Moment. Blessings to each of you. Welcome to the Midday Moment. I am your host, Dr. Davina Jones, Assistant Spiritual Leader of today's church and Fivefold General for Church of the Everlasting Kingdom. Just as you need your physical exercises so that your body can show up, take you where you need to go. Be prepared, strong enough to take you where you need to go. You need your spiritual exercises so that your soul can show up and take you where you need to go. Your emotions, your feelings, your heart, your thoughts, your thinking, your will, your acting out. It all needs to do and to be in line with what you need it to be. And so the midday moment is designed to share with you from my spiritual practices so that you can be encouraged in your spiritual practices too and show up and be on point. Be poised, be postured, be where you need to be and be ready for it. Be able to navigate the situations and the experiences of your day, of your season, of your life, or seasons and your life in general. So I do this because there's a certain way that I live my life so that I can overcome on purpose. I don't run from my questions. I run to my questions. All right. I do this so that there's a certain way that I live my life so that I can live on purpose. So I overcome on purpose. I seek to live on purpose. That means I've got a plan for my body. I've got a plan for my health. I've got a plan for my harmony and relationships. I've got a plan. I'm intentional about the provision and wealth cycle for my life. And there's a certain way that I live my life so that I can live out my purpose, overcome on purpose, live out my purpose. I believe that each of us, we come into this earthly experience with different gifts, talents, sensitivities. So we can answer the question, why? Why am I here? Why did I go through that? Why did I make it? Why did I make it out? Why did I make it to the other side? So as you answer those questions, you answer the call of your life. You answer the purpose for your life. All right. So, as a part of my study, as a part of my spiritual exercise, studying and meditation, in January, we emphasize visioning, visualization, and dreaming. And in February, we are emphasizing fellowshipping, networking, and mentoring. These are spiritual exercises for your soul. And so, as I share parts of that with you today, we are in the midst of a series. Esther's civil disobedience. Okay, so this is part 4. I started this series. Thank you all so much. Those of you who have been journeying with me, I've been doing a little bit of review every day so that everybody can stay synchronized with me. Thank you for your resilience through the technology. We've had little glitches almost yet every day. Yesterday, I think we had no technology glitches for part 3, I think. And so today I'm aiming, no, everything is working. No glitches, everything working, everything smooth. I'm checking stuff around. So I think I got everything. All right. So let me make sure this is in here. Okay, yes, I think I got everything. All right. So part 4. We've been studying Esther. Just to put it out there bluntly, Esther practiced civil disobedience. I know sometimes people say you got to obey the law, and you do. For the most part, you need to obey the law. But when the law is not being righteous, right consciousness, when the law is not supporting peace and justice, that's the kingdom. That's the kingdom. So this is faith based. If you hadn't figured it out, this is faith based. And in this faith based community, in our faith based communities, we study the kingdom as a system. It is a system of being, thinking, seeing, hearing, all right, speaking. It is a system. So we studied the kingdom as a system that Jesus highlighted, but has been here the whole time. And Jesus comes to raise it up. I came to show you. I didn't come to kill, or to do away with the law. I came to show you the intention of it: righteousness, peace, and joy that's in us, and it needs to be stirred up and cultivated so we can express it and manifest it. So when the law is not doing that, okay, when they brought the woman before Jesus who was caught in adultery, and was going against the law, okay, but the law has to also establish righteousness, peace, and and when it doesn't, we're the intercessors. We fill in the gap, and he says go and sin no more. Those of you that cast the first, that have done, that have never done this, you cast the first stone. And they all put their stones down. All right. And so, yes, obey the law. There were taxes to be paid. So Peter had a moment. Look here, I got to get this taken care of. Jesus said, okay, go over there, get the coin out the fish's mouth, pay yours, and pay my bill too. Follow the law. So follow the law, pay your bills, follow the law. And at the same time, when the law is not being righteous, it is not supporting righteousness, peace, and joy, which is the system of God, then yes, you've got some avenues and some opportunities to support lifting the vibration of the universe. So Esther's in a situation where the law is not just. The Jews are about to be killed for no justly reason, okay? And so some people know that Esther is a Jew, some don't. The king does not, and he has signed a decree that's going to support the genocide, the killings of all the Jews. And so Esther has a moment. Her cousin Mordecai says, "You're the queen. You're not the queen for no reason. So don't sit up here on your high horse and think there's nothing for you to do." And so, for part one, we talked about the fact that even though we know in this story, if you don't know, you can go back and read the book of Esther in the Old Testament. We know that Esther practices disobedience because it's right there in chapter verse chapter 4 and verse 16. She goes before the king to make some kind of an appeal, and she's not supposed to go before the king. It's against the law, without the permission, without being invited. And she says, if I perish, let me perish. Why say that? Because she's going against the law. It is civil disobedience. It's disobedience, but it's civil. It's disobedience and it's civil, and she's going for a righteous cause. And so she says, if I perish, let me perish. So, point blank, Esther practiced civil disobedience. However, on Monday, we talked about before you do this, you need to pray and you need to fast. All right. And that was the nugget for Monday. And we reviewed it a little bit as we've come through the series here. You pray and fast before you go out here to my son. Well, Esther did it. Martin Luther King Jr. did it. You need to pray and you need to fast. That's the first thing she did before she went into action. She prayed and she fasted. So you need to pray. Part two, we talked about knowing what you're called to do. Esther was called to go before the king in civil disobedience. She didn't take a tribe with her. She went. Other times, perhaps God will tell you, you take 5 people or take this or get everybody together and you all go. All right. That's what Joshua does. All right. Joshua says, we're all going to go and we're going to march around Jericho. So there are times when all of you are going to go. Bishop brother, I love you. God bless you. There are times when all of you will go. But in this case, Esther was told to go, nobody else. So you got to know what you are called to do. Everybody wasn't called to do that. Remember, other people were called to be over here and y'all get ready for the banquet. Mordecai, you get all the Jews and y'all go over here and y'all pray and fast and keep it going because I'm going for the king. She was the only one called. So you need to know when you pray and fast, then you need to know what you are called to do. That was part 2. Part 3, when you practice this and you answer the call, you need to know what to say. That was part 3. You need to know what to say. When she went before the king, she needed to know, okay, what do I say? Don't just get a picket sign because everybody's got one. Don't get a sign that says XYZ because that's what they got. Just because you are called to a situation doesn't mean that you're supposed to do what everybody else would do. You got to know what God called you to do, and what did God call you to say specifically. And so she goes before the king in part 3 yesterday, and the king permits her to come because she practiced civil disobedience. Now, but the king permits her to come, and she has to know what to say. So the king asks her, "What is it that you are here for?" And she doesn't say. She doesn't say. I'm here because you about to kill me and my people, and I need you to change that. Okay, I need you to fix that. I need you to. She doesn't even start there. Isn't that something? Listen, you better pray and know what God has asked you to say. There we go. Oh, I feel a little poetic. You better pray and know what God has authored you to say. Let's say it again. You better pray and know what God has authored you to say. One more time. Pray and know what God has authored you to say. All right. All right. So that was yesterday. Today, what did God call you to do next? Now that you've said this thing, what are you supposed to do? Now that you said this, come to the banquet. What are you supposed to do? Are you now supposed to at the banquet tell them now in front of all the people? By the way, you about to what? Are, and I don't have a yes or no. I'm just saying you got to pray and know what God has called you to do. Okay, and so Esther says, "I'm gonna throw a banquet." Like that. I know the people over here that she told to pray, and the people over like, what is she doing? We're about to die. And she told myself, a banquet. We're about to die up in here. But you better know what to say. So today for part 4, and I thought I was going to end this with part 4, but it not so, y'all. We're going to have to keep this going, okay? So it's going to be a 5 and a 6 or something, okay? We got to keep it going because it's a midday moment. I got to stop here in a second. So today, what do you do next? You went before the king. You practiced civil disobedience. You invited them to the banquet. What do you do next? What do you do next? And her next is interesting to me because I'm thinking now the next thing to do is to say that. She invites him to another banquet. In fact, listen, this is where I'm going to close. You need to have a favor. Whatever you called to do, the witness to what you're called to do is that there's some favor in there, because everybody can't get. But your brother, imagine having an audience with authority and not know what you're meant to say. My exactly. So I got to end here. Listen, this is the conclusion for today, and then we'll get to part 5. All right. The Bible says that she found favor. It keeps saying this, that she had favor. The king was so pleased. It says over, if I have found favor in thy, or the king keeps saying to her, what is thy petition? I will give you up to half of the kingdom. Now, she doesn't know she has this kind of favor. She obviously doesn't know, because she says in 4:16, if I perish, let me perish. So whatever favor she thinks she has, I got to hurry up and go. Whatever favor she thinks she has is fickle favor, because she doesn't know that her favor is getting ready to sustain her. She's ready to die. She said, if I perish, let me perish. But it says here that she obtained favor in his sight, and it says that repeatedly. So she presents the banquet, and then he says again, what is that you need? I'll give you up to half. You got to know what to do next. She says, no, come to another banquet, please. Let me do it again. And I told you on yesterday, I'm gonna end here today. She knows what to do next, which is another banquet. And I sensed yesterday, and I'm gonna say it today, what I'm getting from this in my current read, she is inviting him into the energy of love. She's throwing him a banquet. She's bringing him into the energy of love. I mean, you can describe it in all sorts of ways, but you got to pray. You got to know your calling. She was the one to go. You got to know what to say when you get there, and you got to know what to do next. And her next is predicated on the fact that, man, I got favor, so let me really massage this favor. She throws another banquet. So I'm closing right here. If you don't know what to do next, you better pray and sit your behind down until you figure it out. And you've got to know where your credibility is in order to do what you've been called to do. That's right. We said that yesterday, Bishop. That's right, because it's perfect love that's gonna cast it. It's love that's gonna fix this thing. That's what's gonna fix it. So you got to know where you have the credibility. All right. Apparently, Esther now recognizes she's got credibility. I mean, the man has said, I'll give you up to half of the kingdom. She's got credibility. And some things you don't need to be doing because you ain't even got the credibility to do it. I gotta go. Come on. I promise y'all I'm closing. It's some things that you don't need to be doing because you ain't even got the credibility to do it. You don't have the credibility. I know you got a degree, but you don't have the credibility to do that. I know you are a bishop, you're an archbishop, and a third ranking you everything, but you don't have the credibility to do that. You got to know what you have the credibility to do. And there are so many people that don't know how to measure credibility. They don't know how to measure credibility. You got to measure your credibility and know what is yours to do. She found favor. She had the favor. She had the credibility to do what she was then doing. And she had to know what to do next. What do I do next? Throw another banquet with this favor. with this credibility. That's it. I got to stop there. We'll come back. We'll do part 5, maybe 6 or something. I'm usually doing these Monday through Thursday, and it looks like I'm gonna have to keep it Monday through Thursday because I can't promise that I'm gonna get in here tomorrow. But don't worry, you just stay connected and look for part 5 because it's coming. Okay. I love you. I bless you. We're getting ready to travel to Africa. Thank you all so much who have sown a seed. Winifred, I need to know who sowed the seed so I can say thank you to them personally. All right. I appreciate you so much, and it's not too late. You can keep it going. We'll be there for the next couple of weeks. I leave next week, be traveling here with my bishop brother Rogers, and so you all can continue to sow. I appreciate you. I bless you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kingdom Access Network channel. Catch me on Can. All right, that is the hub of these kingdom inspirations. You can watch them here, but you get the whole hub. You get all the contributors if you go to the Kingdom Access Network channel on YouTube. So subscribe, okay? I love you. Don't be stingy. Like and share. When I get out of here, I'm gonna share as well, and then I got to get back to my other appointments. But I love you and I bless you. God bless you and God be you. Take care, everybody. Bye.